Are the budget-friendly PowerBlock Elite still worth buying in 2025? These blocky, retro-looking dumbbells have been trusted by over 1 million lifters since the 90s. People adore them, but in an era of slick, budget-friendly options, are these modular monsters still relevant, or are they just a nostalgic relic of the past? Now, I've been putting the PowerBlock Elites through the ringer, and I'm here to tell you whether they're still a top-tier choice, or if it's time to let the blocks go. There are some serious pros to these old boys, and a few peculiar quirks. Let's talk about it. Hey everyone, this is Chris with Strength and Steel, and today we are diving deep into a true OG of the adjustable dumbbell world, the PowerBlock Elite EXP adjustable dumbbells, specifically the stage 1 set, which go from 5 to 50 pounds per hand. Now today we're going to discuss the following: the build quality. Are the PowerBlocks as durable as everyone claims them to be? Then we're going to talk about the adjustment system. After that, we'll see how they feel in hand, and then we have to discuss their price, how they stack up against modern competition, and whether they can indeed be termed budget friendly. If by the end of this video you're interested in these dumbbells and you want to check them out, I've linked them below in the description. But okay, without further ado, let's get into the review. First up, build quality. Now the PowerBlocks are built like tanks. They're literally welded with steel plates and rails. You've got no plastic casings here, no delicate dials, no exposed gear mechanisms, no complex parts at all, really. Just raw industrial utility. Hardcore stuff. Like if Mad Max had a garage gym, I genuinely think he would own these and he'd be throwing these things around. Oh, and Fury Road is better than the Road Warrior. I said it. It's done. It's out there. Everyone knows it. Sorry, Dad. Anyway, the PowerBlocks are super compact. The plates stack into each other like nesting boxes, and the weight selection occurs via a selector pin. Similar to a weight stack at the gym, only the selector is plastic and kind of annoying. It's a simple design, maybe too simple. More on that soon. But for PowerBlock, that simplicity is a gateway toward durability. And it's certainly true. These things are built to last, and I have no doubt that they can and will. Now, before we move on, we need to discuss PowerBlock's distinctive appearance. They're blocks, and part of the reason they appear so blocky is because they utilize what's called a closed cage design, which is essentially the cage of steel that wraps around the handle. Now, closed cages offer greater durability and better balance overall, particularly for adjustables. I'll say that some people detest closed cages. Now, I know that rage is all the rage nowadays, but this one genuinely confuses me. Up front, I am not a hater of closed cages, but we'll get to that later when we discuss how these things actually perform. Now, the last thing about the build that I'll say before we move on is I think the PowerBlocks look really cool. Personally, I love the retro look. I really dig the groovy colored selector indicators and how they match to the colored measurements on top. Even the odd blocky shape has strangely grown on me. I won't go on about it any further, but yeah, I think aesthetically, these might be high on my list. I kind of get the hype. Next up, let's discuss the adjustment system, because this is kind of an odd one. PowerBlocks use a selector pin system. Essentially, you pull out the plastic pin, you slide it into the slot for your desired weight, and then you lift. PowerBlock has used this same basic system since the 90s, and to me, it feels that way. The pin system is functional, but it's not exactly fast. And when it's compared to twist and go options like the Dumbbells or the switch system on the Rep Fitness Quick Draws, the PowerBlock's adjustment system certainly begins to feel antiquated. It's also just kind of annoying to use. You have to make sure you're attaching the pins to the correct rods, and I seem to miss often, maybe too often. Now, I know PowerBlocks were built with one goal in mind: durability and simplicity. I get it, PowerBlock, I get it. But man, if there's one thing I could ask them to change, it's the pin system. It does work, and once you're familiar with the layout, it's not so bad. But in my opinion, it's still not ideal for fast drop sets or workouts where you need to adjust quickly on the fly. But if you're okay with trading speed for longevity, who cares? You definitely have to know what you're getting into with these things, but like I said, durability and simplicity. Alright, so they're funky looking and hip and cool and all that jazz, but how do these things actually feel? Well, they feel solid and blocky, but in a good way. Now I'm sure some of the larger sets like the PowerBlock Pros feel cumbersome and maybe even overwhelming, but to my surprise, I didn't feel bothered at all by the size of the Elites. They're boxy, yeah, but I had no difficulty experiencing a complete range of motion on presses or any other exercise like that. They felt good. The dumbbells feel compact, they feel solidly built, they don't rattle, they don't shift, there's no sag in the plates, which is terrific. Now, something to note, you can purchase weight expansions for the Elites. I believe you can beef these up to 90 pounds. Certainly that will increase their size, but at this 50-pound weight capacity, I personally have had no difficulties. Now the handle is fitted with rubber grips. It's not super tacky, which is probably a good thing if you've got sweaty paws like me, but I will say that personally, I do prefer a knurled grip. I like the bite you get with knurling, the feel of cold steel running beneath your fingers, and of course, they develop calluses, which help keep the neighborhood dads firmly in their place. But yeah, the rubber here is fine, it's just not my preference. Now in regards to the aforementioned closed cage design. Now this is an area where PowerBlocks seem to divide a lot of people. The PowerBlocks cage can indeed feel somewhat confining, particularly if you have large hands or you like using lifting gloves. And for any movement that involves, say, wrist rotation, like curls and certainly some overhead tricep variations, yeah, the closed cage can indeed make the movement feel somewhat awkward, at least at first. Now, if you're coming from traditional round dumbbells, these will certainly take some getting used to. Personally, I don't really care. I guess I prefer an open cage design if I have to choose, but I use the Rep Pepins as my primary adjustable dumbbell, which are also a closed cage, and I absolutely love them. That said, these PowerBlocks do feel a little more restrictive than the Rep Pepins or other similar closed cage dumbbells in the same weight class, so I do think that's something to bear in mind. But overall, these dumbbells feel great. They feel solid, they feel reliable. All right, let's see if the price is right, because adjustable dumbbells are all over the place when it comes to cost. So the PowerBlock Elite EXPs are sitting at around 300 bucks at the time of this video. And if you're asking me, I think that is an epic price and definitely budget friendly. Now, I used to own the Ativa Fit adjustable dumbbells, and I'll be honest, the dial system on those is super satisfying and convenient and definitely better than what the PowerBlocks use. What I don't love about those are the rounded ends that prohibit you from allowing them to sit flatly on your knees. I also think overall they're not going to be as durable or as long lasting as the PowerBlocks, probably because of their adjustment system. Still, the Ativa Fit, the 55-pound set, sits at a stellar price of 300 bucks, so I do think those are legitimate contenders. And then there are the Yahi Tech adjustable dumbbells. I see a lot of people buying these because of their clearly stellar price, which generally ranges from $250 to $300 for a pair. But from what I understand, they can be somewhat fragile. A lot of people are reporting breakages within a couple months of ownership. I don't have them yet, but considering how many of them are being purchased, I'm definitely going to be reviewing them soon. I think they merit a look, but I don't think they compare to the PowerBlock's reliability, not at such a similar price point. If you're going to invest correctly. And last, we have the Rep Fitness Quick Draws. I recently reviewed these. I'll post a link to the review in the description if you're interested and you want to check that out after this. Now, these are the most premium option that I'm using in the comparison, but with good reason. I love their quick draw switch-based adjustment system. It's fast, it's intuitive, and it feels really solid once you get the hang of it. They also have an open cage design, if you prefer that style, and the grip is not rubber, but is knurled. And Rep offers a lifetime warranty for those dumbbells, which I think clearly demonstrates their confidence in that product. With all that being said, they're enormous. They are so much bigger than the PowerBlocks, so I do think that is worth noting. And at nearly $480, I'm not totally convinced the price is justified when you compare it to the PowerBlocks. I genuinely think the PowerBlocks are holding their own. They're holding their value. Honestly, I'm impressed and even a little surprised. All right, so are the PowerBlock Elite still worth it in 2025? Yeah, I definitely think so. Now, they're not the flashiest dumbbells out there. They're not Fury Road, they're the Road Warrior. A little rough around the edges, but still a classic and still bring in the heat. They're tough, they're compact, they're expandable, and they're seriously well priced. And despite a few quirks, I think they absolutely hold their own in today's lineup of budget-friendly adjustable dumbbells. I really like them. I think they have style, and overall, I trust them, which to me is a big deal. I recommend them. But that's it for the review, everyone. If this helped you out, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and check out my other videos for more home gym gear breakdowns and comparisons. Otherwise, stay strong and stay steely, ladies and gents, and I will catch you in the next one. Adios.